Hi, welcome to Nina in the Kitchen, where today I am making stuffed artichokes. I love this as a spring, summer meal. They're just delicious. So here we go. First I wanted to talk about artichokes. A lot of people don't know what these are, what to do with them. And so here are the two main style, if you will, that you see in the United States. They're both considered globe artichoke. I did this intentionally. I bought this guy at a different place a few days before buying this one because I wanted to show you how they age. The leaves will split. They start to come away from the center, just like that. And the older they are, the more this opens up. So you want to make sure they have a nice long stem on them because this is what feeds the artichoke its energy and keeps it fresh. This is how you prep them to stuff them. First of all, these artichokes have these little thistles, these thorns on the edge, and you don't need this and you can't eat those. These bottom leaves though, they're so tough that they're really not very good to eat, so I just take those off. Then you cut the base off, just like that, so that it can sit upright. This brown part, you cut that off. You can just peel that off with a paring knife. And all of this white part is really delicious, and that's oftentimes the cook's treat. I'm going to just peel this. This goes into acidulated water. Now what acidulated water is it's water that has either lemon juice, lime juice, you can use white vinegar for this as well, but it's water with an acid in it, and what it does is it stops this from oxidizing. Now you saw I just cut this from the base of the artichoke, and look, I'm already starting to get a little brown there. It was perfectly white just a moment ago. And now this end is starting. It's just starting to turn brown, just beginning. So you want those in acidulated water. That will stop that process from oxidizing. Then we have these thistly tops that you don't need. So I cut that off. I just go around and cut the tops of these leaves off with the scissors. And just so nobody gets hurt. You don't want to get hurt eating an artichoke. Then I cut this in half. Not everyone does that, but what I like about cutting in half is that, you see, this is the choke part, these little fibrous bits, and that is not very good to eat. And then in here, these purple leaves, these are kind of pinchy, and they never get soft. So if you cut them in half, I can take this out right now and just have a better bite for my guests. The best tool for this is a grapefruit spoon, and I think I'm going to switch out. This is a grapefruit spoon. It has a little jagged edge, a little serrated edge, and it's a great tool to have. Just every once in a while I find I need it. See, it does an excellent job. You can feel your way through this, and this is hard, and that is part of the heart. So you don't scrape that out. You just want to get these little thistly bits out, and even these purple leaves. And now that is the artichoke that I'm going to stuff. Right now it goes into this acidulated bath, and I'm going to prep the rest of this just the same way. So now it's time to stuff the artichokes. I have all of this stuff collected, and by and large, the majority of this, it might look like a lot, but a lot of it is pantry staples. So even though it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you should have all of this in your home, especially if you watch me. So here's what I have in this bowl. This is what we're going to stuff the chokes with. I have 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, plain breadcrumbs. Now remember, these are 2 large artichokes. So 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. I have some lemon zest, salt and pepper is in here, some Romano cheese. This is 6 tablespoons of Romano. I have about a teaspoon of black pepper. I have about a teaspoon of kosher salt. a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I have half a teaspoon of oregano and half a teaspoon of basil that's dry. And I'm going to supplement that with, this is the zest of 1 lemon. About 4 tablespoons of oil, extra virgin olive oil, you want your good stuff here, and 3 cloves of minced garlic. Now, you don't have to use fresh herbs for this at all. However, I happen to have some, and so I have fresh basil, fresh oregano, fresh thyme, and about half of a cup of fresh parsley. If you want to use dried herbs only, that's fine. However, you don't want to use dried parsley. Dried parsley comes in a big plastic container, and I don't know what it's good for, but I don't think it's good for eating. Maybe when you're at a parade, you can throw it as confetti. That's about it. But if you're going to use dried herbs, just remember, dried herbs are twice as potent as fresh herbs. When they're dried, all of that oil and flavor is concentrated. So fresh herbs, you need twice as much as you do dried. Did I say that right? Yes, I did. Okay. So here we go. We have these. I have some olive oil in here. I think I'm going to do a little more oil. You want this to look like wet sand as far as the olive oil goes. That was about another 2 tablespoons, I would say, of olive oil. And when you get to that texture, then what I'm going to do is just add some lemon juice to this. We have the lemon zest in here already, so we're doing that flavor profile. I'm holding my hand over it because I don't want the seeds in there. So I'm using the zest of 1 lemon and the juice of 1 lemon. Mix this up. All of these breadcrumbs started dry. They're going to hydrate as they cook. What you want to do ideally is to make a little more stuffing than what you need, because what's left over becomes this beautiful, luxurious sauce for the artichokes. This is mixed well. So now we get to stuff them. What you do is you open up these leaves. And you just start going around the base. Every leaf ideally should have a little bit of stuffing in there when you eat this. Then at the end, you just take it, you pack it in, and there is your stuffed artichoke. Half of one of these with this stuffing is plenty of food for one person, especially if you're doing multiple courses. If you're serving chicken, for example, you throw a chicken on the grill, you make a stuffed artichoke, you have your carbohydrates, you have herbs and vegetable, and then you'd have a meat. It's a complete meal, and it's easy summer dinner. So I've stuffed all of the artichoke halves. Now all that I'm doing is I have this pan of chicken stock, actually, chicken broth, boxed or homemade, doesn't really matter. And all of these little bits, all of these little leftover pieces go right in here, because as I said, ultimately what you want to do is create a sauce out of all of this, and it's just so good. And then the stems, you can just put those right in here. The stems will take about 10, maybe 15 minutes to cook. I'll show you how to test the artichokes, but plan on about 20 to 30 minutes for your artichokes, depending on how big they are. So I'll see you when stuff starts happening. You can see there's some sauce at the bottom. So that water that we put in, or chicken broth, is now becoming this velvety sauce. It's really delicious. I'm going to test one of these, but I doubt that they're ready yet. But the way you test this is you go into the middle, these tougher outer leaves, pull one of those, and you see it doesn't want to budge. So this has probably another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll test it again. In the meantime, just keep an eye on this liquid because you want just about that much. And at the end of this, because that's going to become your sauce. I tested this one, and you can see I'm trying to grab one of these leaves. It just pops right out very easily. Let's go back for a moment. This is the stem from earlier. There's a little fibrous bit on the outside, but and you can see it's kind of stringy there. You can cut that away, and then this whole center is like an extension of this whole inside that's soft is an extension of the artichoke heart, and you just eat it like that. It's good. So here's how I like to serve this. Take this out, and you can do cut side down. I think that's easiest. And then you see you have this sauce in here. It's very velvety. Now at this point, what a lot of people do is they'll just put this pan under a broiler and get all of this toasty, and that's delicious, but you really don't need to do that. Here it is, a little bit of sauce. Everybody gets some. You have the filling throughout. What you do is you just pick a leaf off, and every leaf has a little breading in it, and then you just scrape the bottom with the bottom of your teeth. Really delicious. Garlicky, cheesy, and the lemon comes through. It's really quite lovely. I hope you try this recipe. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at Nina in the Kitchen and ninakitchen.net for the recipes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next time, bye.